We're diving into one of the biggest rivalries happening right now, the race between the United States and China for AI dominance. And trust me, this is about way more than just faster computers. This is a battle to decide who, quite literally, writes the rules for the 21st century.
So let me ask you something. Think about the year 2030, which is right around the corner. Who's going to be powering your world? Is the AI in your home, in your car, running your city, is it all going to be built on American innovation, or will it be Chinese ingenuity? The answer to that is being decided as we speak.
You know, the prize they're both fighting for is this thing called AI supremacy. And that's not just some buzzword. It's about getting global control over the one technology that's going to define pretty much everything, our economies, our security, and maybe most importantly, our ethical future.
Okay, so let's get into it. Why does this race matter so much? Well, the stakes are unbelievably high, and honestly, they touch just about every single part of our lives.
You can really break down this idea of AI supremacy into three main pillars. First, it's a fight for raw economic power. Second, it's about gaining a huge military advantage. And third, it's a battle for ethical leadership. Who gets to set the rules for how this tech is used around the world?
So let's talk about the economy first. AI is kind of like electricity was 100 years ago. It changes everything. We're talking about the potential to create trillions, with a T, trillions of dollars in economic value. So whoever leads in AI is probably going to dominate the global supply chains of the future. It's a massive prize.
And then, of course, there's the military side. I mean, we're talking about autonomous weapons, AI-driven cyber warfare, and intelligence gathering that's faster and smarter than anything humans can do. If you can integrate AI into your military effectively, you have a massive, and I mean massive, strategic advantage. It completely changes the game.
And this gets to a really deep philosophical divide. In the US, the approach tends to focus on things like transparency, user privacy, and human rights. But in China, the model is very different. It's all about speed and scale, using huge amounts of data with way fewer restrictions. Whoever wins this race is basically going to export their own philosophy to the rest of the world.
So, how is China tackling this? Well, their strategy is anything but accidental. It is a highly coordinated, top-down national mission. People are even calling it the AI National Team.
And here's the official game plan. Back in 2017, China basically put the whole world on notice. They launched this next-generation AI development plan. And this wasn't some vague goal. It was a declaration with a very hard deadline: become the undisputed world leader in AI by 2030, period. And believe me, they are putting their money where their mouth is. That number you see, $140 billion, that's the target size for their core AI industry by 2030. And it's being fed by an absolute fire hose of cash. We're talking over $21 billion in direct national funding, not to mention billions more from local governments.
This really gets to the core of China's strategy. You know what their biggest advantage is? Data. Just unbelievable amounts of it, coming from a huge population and collected with very few regulatory roadblocks. This lets them train and roll out AI at a speed and scale that is just incredibly hard for anyone else to match, especially in huge projects like their smart cities.
So how in the world does the US compete with that? Well, its approach is totally different. It's not top-down and government-led, it's bottom-up. It's a market-driven innovation engine, and it's powered by, you guessed it, Silicon Valley.
But don't count the US out. It has its own heavy hitters. You've got the world's best research universities, like MIT and Stanford. You've got the tech giants, Google, OpenAI, Meta, that are inventing this stuff. And you've got this incredible culture of venture capital that fuels new ideas. Most importantly, the US is still the #1 place where the brightest minds in AI from all over the world want to come and work.
And this is a really key difference right here. While China is amazing at applying AI that already exists, the US still has the edge in foundational research. This is where the truly mind-blowing breakthroughs happen. The actual creation of these massive, complex AI models, like the ones that power tools like ChatGPT.
So you've got these two titans with two very different playbooks. But where is this race actually going to be won or lost? Let's talk about the critical battlegrounds, because this is where the rubber really meets the road.
But before we get there, you need to understand something absolutely crucial. For all of its incredible power, the entire AI ecosystem as we know it has one single glaring weakness, a vulnerability that both sides know could decide everything.
And what is that weakness? It's something called the choke point. See, all of this powerful AI runs on super specialized computer chips, semiconductors. And it just so happens that the global supply chain for these chips is incredibly fragile and controlled by just a tiny handful of companies.
This is the real battleground. These advanced chips, especially GPUs, are the physical engines that make AI possible. And right now, American companies like NVIDIA design the most powerful ones, and a single company in Taiwan, TSMC, makes almost all of them. This gives the US and its allies an incredible amount of leverage, a massive bottleneck for China's AI ambitions.
So with all this tension, especially around the chips, what does the future look like? I mean, are we headed for a full-on collision, or is there some path forward that looks more like, well, co-opetition, a mix of cooperation and competition?
This table does a great job of laying it all out side by side. You look at the economy. It's America's private innovation versus China's huge scale and government money. Militarily, it's a race between America's cutting-edge research and China's ability to just deploy systems really, really fast. Ethically, it's a total clash of values. But look at that last column, the biggest challenges, from supply chains to global regulation, they're actually shared by both.
Now, could they work together on some things like climate change or health research? Maybe. But let's be realistic. Deep, strategic collaboration on the core AI technologies is just not in the cards. The national security risks on both sides are just way too high. At the end of the day, competition is the name of the game here.
And that brings us right back to the question we started with. This race, it isn't just about who has the best tech. It's about power, it's about values, and it's about control. And as these two giants go head-to-head, the real question is, who is going to be the one to write the rules for all of our AI future?